Okay, good morning, class. So today we're looking at functions part two. So we're looking at the interpretation of graphs, not so. I think I've cut more graphs for you guys. Right. So yesterday we did that two examples where that you should have been able to do exercise 8.5. Then I took more examples out of the. Just check where that is from. These examples is out of the check your skills exercise. Okay. This is exercise 8.8. Just to solidify your understanding of the section of work. Okay. So there's very few examples on it. So I just took out from another exercise so that you guys can see a wider range of these type of questions. Okay. And as we know that this is quite a bit of marks in your exam. Okay. So we need to give its due. So that is why I'm just taking out a couple of more sums from the revision exercise. Okay. So looking at Check skills exercise 8.8 on page 193. We are told sketch of the graphs of y equals 3x and then y is equal to negative 3x. If and g, if g and CED are lines segments parallel to your y-axis, as you can see, these parallel there. If G, C, and D lies on the graph. Okay. So those points lies in the graph as well. Okay. So of course, which graph is which? The y is equal to 3x, 3 to the x is of course the graph going through F, E, and A, and C. Can you see that? Why? Because I say increasing exponential function. Since it's negative, it's reflected in this x-axis, and this is the one coming down. Okay. Number 4. So I'm just going to link it. This is y is equal to 3 to the x. And of course, that is y is equal to minus 3. Let's look at the first question. It says calculate the coordinates of A and B. Calculate the coordinates of A and B. People, what is A and what is B? A is the y-intercept of the exponential function. Lots of y is equal to 3 to the x. So for A, y-intercept, we let x equal to 0 of the y is equal to 3 to the x graph. So we now say y is equal to 3 to the 0. Anything to the power 0 is? So therefore, A is 0 and okay. Okay. For B, your y-intercept. There's also a y-intercept, not so. So y-intercept, we let x equal to 0, and that is a graph of y is equal to negative 3 to the x. So we have y is equal to negative 3 raised to 0, which is negative 1. So therefore, B is negative 1 and 0. Okay. Simple. No? Absolutely. Why 0 and negative 1 not? Negative 1 and 0? So on your y-axis. Anyway, on your y-axis, x is here. Thank you. Then I want you to calculate CD. The length of CD. How do we calculate if OA is equal to 2? So OA is equal to 2. So what's your x value on this line? What's your x value anywhere on that line? 2. Not so. So how do you calculate the distance between two graphs? The top graph is minus the bottom graph. So CD is equal to. Now looking from on top. Okay? Looking from on top. Which graph is on top? The y is equal to 3 to the x graph is on top. Not so. Looking from on top. Down. Of course, at the bottom is the y is equal to negative 3x graph. Not so. So it's going to be the top graph minus the bottom graph. So it's going to be 3 to the x minus 3 to the x. Okay. Which now gives us 3 to the x plus 3 to the x, which is 2 times 3 to the x. Okay, that is what did I say yesterday? That is the algebraic expression for the line C. So what do I do now? You substitute. Remember that is CD. Substitute. X is equal to 2. So CD is simply going to be 2 times 3 squared. What is 3 squared? 9. 9 times 2 is 18. So it's 18 units. Okay. You guys understand? People, you didn't have to go all the way here. If I had this, then I could have at that point substitute x equal to 2 already. Then I would have gotten CD is equal to 3 squared minus 3 squared. It's going to give you the same answer. So it's going to be 3 squared minus open brackets negative 3 to the exponent 2 gives you 18 anyway. Okay? So that is B. Let's look at question C. Fractions is a favorite, nice. Calculate the coordinates of F and G. Calculate the coordinates of F and G. Calculate the coordinates of F and G, which is the if G is 2 over 3. What's it 2 over 3? Okay. So people, for FG, what do you know about FG? The distance between two graphs again, not so. So it's going to be the top graph minus the bottom graph. What's the equation of the top graph? Y is equal to 3x. What's the equation of the graph at the bottom? So what do we do? We subtract the two graphs again, the top minus the bottom. So y is equal to 3x minus 3x, which is the same as this here, which will be resulting in the same as that. Not so. So if G is also equal to 2 times 3 to the x, or if you didn't simplify, you can use it like it is there, no problem. Okay. You all okay with that? See anybody that's confused so far with the sum? Alright. But what is the length of FG? 2 over 3. So 2 over 3 is equal to 2 times 3 to the x. So that's now in an exponential equation, not so. What do I do now? Sorry? Divide both sides by 2. Why by 2? So that I can get 3 to the x on its own. That's the idea. Okay. So 3 to the x is equal to, on a calculator, let's say 2 over 3 must be divided by 2. Is your third. Now what? 3 to the negative 1. So 3 to the x is equal to 3 to the negative 1. Therefore, x equal to? Which now means to say the x value of f is negative 1 and the x value of g is negative 1. So how do we get a corresponding y value? Substitute, yes. The negative 1 into, for f, this graph. Not some, because it's lying on that graph. So we'll substitute. X is equal to negative 1 into y is equal to 3 to the x. So y is equal to 3 to the minus 1, which is the third. Not so. So therefore, f is negative 1 and. So how do we get the value of the coordinates of g? Substitute. X is equal to negative 1 into y is equal to negative 3 to the x. I think that's behind the calculator now. No? But you see this equation now it's going into. Not so. Now what? Y is equal to negative 3 to the negative 1. Which is negative a third. Not so. It's negative. Oops. Negative 3 to the negative 1. It's negative a third. So therefore, G is negative 1 and negative a third. Okay. People, is there any confusion there? Is there any confusion? Sorry? No? Okay. Very nice, Sam. Let's go to the next one. What is another? Yes, now this is number 5. Number 5, we are told the graph, or the graphs of f of x equals, so I'm going to write here, f of x equals 1 minus x squared. What type of graph is f of x? Parabola. How do I know it's parabola? X is being squared. And over g of x is equal to 2x plus 1. What type of graph is that? Straight lines, a linear graph. X is to the power 1 as each. Okay. First question. Repeat number 5. A. Calculate the coordinates of A, B, C, and D. People, what is A? The turning point, yes. What else is it? Y-intercept of? Parabola? Or straight line, doesn't matter. The y-intercept of both. I got the equation of both. And I can read the y-intercept from them. Not so. So I can say A. What's the coordinates of A? 0 and 1. How do I know that? It's because the constant here is 1. This can also be written as x squared minus x squared plus 1. Can you see? The constant is going to be a y-intercept. What would I have done if I didn't know that was the case? You would have, for your y-intercept, what do we do? Let x equal to 0. So y is equal, g of x is equal to 2x plus 1. Or you could have gone with f of x. So g of 0 is equal to 2 times 0 plus 1, which is 1. Therefore, a is 0 and 1. But people, if that sum comes in the exam, we only give you one mark for that sum. Because you should have been able to read it off from the equation. But like I said, if you didn't know that, it's fine. Do the calculation for one. Okay. Let's look at B. What is B and C? Is your x-intercept of what? Parabola. So let y equal to 0. And the equation of the parabola is f of x is equal to minus x squared plus 1. Or 1 minus x squared is the same thing. So what we do, f of x is your y, not so. So 0 is equal to minus x squared plus 1. Take it over the equal sign. X squared is equal to 1. What do I do now? Square root. If I introduce square root, what must I not forget? Plus minus. So x is equal to plus minus 1. Have I answered the question? No. What's the question? Coordinates of B. So therefore, B has to be negative 1 and 0. And C, 1 and 0. So it's on the positive part of the x-axis. Do you guys understand? Let's look at D. What is D? Your x-intercept of the straight line. So we let y equal to 0 for the straight line, which is g of x. Not so. So 0 is equal to 2x plus 1. Take it over the equal sign becomes negative 1. Divided by 2, negative half, which implies x is negative. What is the question? The coordinates of D. Therefore, D is negative half and 0. Do you guys understand? We're going to take the calculator away there for a couple of seconds. Okay. Is there any confusion there? Is there any confusion? So that is negative half. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, as I need the space here. Okay. Let's look at B. Okay, people, you guys are having your own conversation here on the side. Even if it's about work, you're distracting the rest who wants to listen. Okay. People, let's look at E. Determine the coordinates of E. People, what is E? Point of intersection of the two graphs. How do you work out the points of intersection? Set the two graphs equal to each other. Not so. So, what's the equation? So we said f of x is equal to g of x. So what is the equation of f of x? 1 minus x squared equals g of x, 2x plus 1. X, everything to one side. Why? Because that's quadratic. So it's 2x plus 1 plus x squared minus 1. When do we have x as one side, numbers other side? In a linear equation. The highest exponent on x is 1. Okay. We could have done, I know earlier on we took that over and we got 1 is equal to x squared and then, but you will say, but this is quadratic as well. But we could have done this as well, eh? 1 minus x and 1 plus x, which is the difference of two squares anyway. Okay, because if I take the x's in this sum here, in particular to one side, I won't be able to solve the sum. So that would have been negative x squared minus 2x is equal to 1 minus 1. Normally that's a different number. Okay, here it will give you 0, which would work out as well perfectly. But if that was a constant there other than 0, then you'd have to bring it over again. Okay. So let's go and we say 0 is equal to 2x plus 1 plus x squared minus 1. It gives me x squared plus 2x and the 1's cancel. Now what? Common factor of x. So it's x into x plus. Or could I have divided by x? She says yes. You all agree with that? No. If you are the person who says yes on the inside, make a note there that you never divide by a variable. Otherwise, you're going to lose the solution. Never divide it by an unknown value, a variable. You will lose the solution. Right. So we say x is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0, which results in x is equal to minus 2. Okay. People, why do we have two solutions? There are 2 points of intersection. At O, yes, as it says O. And this one here is at E, which is negative 2. Not so. So E is the negative 2 one. So, how do we get the corresponding y value of E? Substitute negative 2 either into the straight line or the it doesn't matter, they are equivalent. So g of negative 2 is going to be 2 times negative 2 plus 1, which is negative 4 plus 1, which is negative 3. Therefore, E is negative 2 and negative 3. Okay? If I had gone into the parabola, it would have been 1 minus negative 2 squared. So it's 1 minus 4, which is negative 3 anyway. Okay? Right. Let's go with C. Calculate the length of FC. Calculate the length of FC. So how do you calculate the length of FC, or the distance between two graphs? Top graph minus the bottom graph. Okay. So looking from on top, which graph is on top? The straight line. So for FC, it will be the straight line, which is g of x, minus the parabola, which is f of x. Not so. So what is your x value here? 1. So if you wanted, you could have said g of 1 minus f of 1. Okay, it's the same thing. So if you're going to go for fg, it's a straight line. Minus the parabola. So it's going to be 2x plus 1 minus 1 minus x squared. Okay, so that's going to give me 2x plus 1 minus 1 plus x squared. So it's x squared plus 2x. And again, what is this? It's the algebraic expression for FC. I don't know why I said FG earlier. So I'm going to substitute my x value at that point. So I'm going to substitute x is equal to 1. So FC is equal to 1 squared plus 2 times 1, which is 3. that is 3 units. Okay. Then they ask you in D to write an expression for G minus f of x. And what is G minus? Is G minus f of x not this here? So therefore, G minus f of x, G of x minus f of x is then simply x squared plus 2x. Okay. Yes.
Why did they show the right angle triangle?
Because that is perpendicular. You see, if the question she's asking why is this 90 here? You must remember if you're going to calculate the distance of between two graphs by the method that we are doing, then this line must be parallel to that or it must be perpendicular to the x-axis. So in the sum, they didn't tell us it's parallel to the y-axis. So they have to show it in the diagram. That is perpendicular. They could either tell you it's parallel to your y-axis, it's perpendicular to your x-axis. Okay, one of the two. Yes, Michael?
So why are we substituting the other one?
Because the x value on this line is 1. That's why I'm substituting 1. If you had to calculate the distance between those 2 points, and your x value here was 5, then I would substitute 5. Okay. After getting this, I would have substituted x equal to 5. Okay. See any other confusion? No. Okay, let's look at E. In E, we are told for which values. Okay, this is a nice question here. And then again, some of you are going to say, all the questions is nice. E. For which value or values of x is g of x greater or equal to f of x? Which means to say, the g of x graph must be on top of the f of x graph. Or the f of x graph must be below the g of x graph, or smaller than. So, g of x is which graph? The straight line. So the straight line must be on top, not so. Is a straight line on top of the parabola here? Looking from on top. Is looking from on top. Is the straight line on top? Yes. On that side of E, is the straight line on top? Is the straight line on top here? No. Is the straight line on top here? Yes. So it's on top, there onwards. So is this solution together or apart? It's apart. Did you see that, people? So in other words, x must be in that direction. X must be less than, what's your x value here? Negative 2. Or x must be more than 0. You see that, people? Now you see there's an equal sign as well. Okay? So it has to be less than or equal to negative 2 or greater than 0. So any confusion here? Alright. Number 6. Sketch all the graphs of y equals x squared minus 4 and y is equal to negative x squared minus 2. Okay. First question. It is a bit smaller. The question says, people stop talking in the background if you don't mind. The question says calculate the coordinates of A, B, C, D, and E. Calculate the coordinates of A, B, C, D, and E. So let's look at A. What is A and B. So what do we do for our x-intercept? Y equal to 0. So which graph is which? The smiling graph is the first one. There lots of y is equal to x squared minus 4, and the other one, of course, is the sad graph. Okay, you guys understand? Which is y is equal to negative x squared minus 2. I don't need this here. Okay. So A and B is the x-intercepts of that graph there. So x-intercept at y equal to 0. So 0 is equal to x squared minus 4. Okay, take the difference of two squares here. X plus 2 and x minus 2. So x plus 2 is equal to 0, so x is equal to minus 2. Or x minus 2 is equal to 0, x is equal to. Have I answered the question? What's the question? Coordinates of A and B. So therefore, A is going to be negative 2 and 0, and B is going to be 2 and 0. C, let's look at the coordinates of C. What is C? C is the y-intercept of the graph. There was also the turning point. So how do you work out your y-intercept? Then x equal to 0. And this is for the equation y is equal to minus x squared minus 2. So we have y is equal to negative 0 squared minus 2, which is negative 2. So what's the coordinates of C? 0 and negative 2. You see, it's becoming easier now. Okay, B was minus 2 and 2. D. D is what? Y-intercept. Let x equal to 0 of the other parabola now. So you say y is equal to 0 squared minus 4, which is negative 4. Therefore, D is 0 and negative 4. And is an E. People, let's look at E. What is E? E is also the point of intersection. How do we calculate the points of intersection? Two graphs equal to each other, not so. So it's going to be x squared minus 4 is equal to minus x squared minus. So we take x to one side, numbers the other side. So it's going to be x squared plus x squared is equal to minus 2 plus 4, which is 2. 2x squared is equal to 2. Now what? Divide by 2. When did you use divide by 2? So it's going to be x squared is equal to 1. When you do your square root, I must not forget. So x equal to plus minus 1. Which one of the two is it?
Negative 1.
Why is it negative 1? Negative side of the x-axis. Okay. So how do we get the corresponding y value? You substitute x is equal to negative 1. You can go into any one of the two graphs. Okay, so you say y is equal to negative 1 squared. People, that must be in a bracket. No? Negative 1 squared minus 4. It's going to be 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. Therefore, E is negative 1 and negative 3. You can't get easier than this, people. Okay, this is only if you want it. No? But most of us, we don't want it. No? You're not going to take the weekend and go through it again and again until you understand. No? We're not both like that. No? We just both to complain, teacher can't explain, and I don't understand. So what do you say? I don't understand. So you won't take the time out to go understand. B. Calculate the coordinates of F and C. G, sorry. People, what do we know of that point already? What do we know about the coordinates of f already at this point and g? The y value. What is the y value? -2. So in other words, I must just calculate the x value now. Not so. So how do we get that? For those of you wondering where's the -2 coming from? It's coming from here. Okay. In the equation of this parabola, why that parabola? Because f and g is lying on that parabola. Yes. Okay. Yes? Sorry? But you should know from here because it's perpendicular, so it's parallel. So it's going through that line, which is parallel to your x-axis. Okay, can you see that? I think they mentioned it, yes, no, they did. But it's clear from the sketch that the y value is going to be -2. Can you see? So what we do is we're going to substitute y is equal to -2 into that parabola of y equals x squared minus 4. Okay. So we now say -2 is equal to x squared minus 4. So what do I do now? Take the 4 over the equal sign. So -2 plus 4 is 2. So x is equal to, x squared is equal to 2. Now what do I do? Square root. By the square root, what must I not forget? Plus minus. So therefore x equal to plus minus the square root of. Why two solutions, people? There's two values at which that has a y value of -2. So which one does f get? The -√2 and -2, and g is going to be √2 and. Okay. See any confusion here? Just take the weekend and you go through it together. So that basically brings us to the end of functions. Okay, so I'm going to give you an exercise out of the mind action series. Okay, so let's stop this video, and that will be for Monday. Okay.